Hi everyone. So in my last video, I focused on the really obvious dodgy methodologies for typing people, such as visual identification and astrology. This time round, I want to focus on the dodgy methodology that is a lot more subtle. Why it's subtle is that, unlike the obvious stuff, it does actually focus on what people actually say. However, it still lacks that criterion validity, because it doesn't go on to evaluate personality. It simply looks at the words said or the language structure and doesn't try to dive deeper into the meanings for why people say what they do. I call these methods keyword or key phrase typologies. Now, this may seem like a subtle distinction, because that's exactly what it is. However, it is an important one. Let me give you an example. If a subject in an interview says the words long-term planning, there are self-professed typology experts who will mark on the board that they use introverted intuition and extroverted sensation, rather than extroverted intuition and introverted sensation. Similarly, if they ever say they are being something, for example, being a light to others, they are using extroverted feeling and introverted thinking. Or if they say, you are too good looking, that's extroverted sensation. The problem with this is that the process assumes a choice of phrasing is a reliable indicator of the underlying motivations for why a person does what they do. As far as I know, we don't have evidence to know this is the case, and indeed we can think of examples where someone of a very different type would use these same word phrasings. If a situation required an ESFJ to plan long term, what's stopping them from saying in an interview that they are long term planning? What if they are doing it so they can keep people around them happy and not letting anyone down? It's quite consistent with ESFJ motivations. But these possibilities are not explored, and each time the phraseology is taken at face value on the pre-devised system. There are plenty of practitioners on YouTube doing this, some in MBTI, others in socionics. The typical signs of a keyword typologist are that they 1. Overly focus on specific words that are said, and 2. Tend to use a chart or tally to mark up how often these keywords are said, basing their typing on the keyword quantity. It looks objective in its approach, which can be complimented. It is objective in the amount which people have said, but is inherently shallow and limited in its approach. And by using such methods, you won't be able to establish the overarching strengths and motivations of a person. All you will have been able to do is take a sample, which may and may not be a representative sample, depending which interview you choose, of how often they use certain phraseologies over others. In effect, the difference between an ESTJ and an ENTJ becomes how often they happen to say a key phrase in the interviews you happen to choose, and becomes nothing about whether they actually are looking to limit the range of possibilities or open them up, whether they are motivated by sort of materialistic success, personal achievement and impact, or actually looking to keep their processes more smooth and more, well, conserving of energy. So, yeah, there's no substitute for a genuine attempt to understand a person's worldviews, motivations, and capabilities. It's no longer a typology of personality, it's a typology of language use. So, if you're looking for an expert to type you, what should you do? Well, first of all, you should look at their method. Check for any tallies or charts that are measuring how much you are saying something. Now, as I said, this in and of itself is not wrong and can allow greater objectivity. But if it accompanies my second suggestion, then it is a problem. Which brings me to my second suggestion. Look at how they form their analyses. Are they exploring possibilities in regards to what their subjects are saying? Are they trying to put together a narrative that explains the different data points they have been presented? Or are they literally just counting what has been said and going off of that without question? If they're doing 1 and 2 together, then you can be sure that they are a keyword or key phrase typologist, and if so, the likelihood of them giving you the correct typing is significantly reduced. It's probably better than chance, I'd say, but it's not as good as, actually trying to explore and understand you as a person. It's even less likely they'll be able to give you an informative analysis explaining how your driving motivations align with a particular personality type. Anyway, that's all I have to say on keyword typologists. See you soon.